video on my makeup brushes. So these are the makeup brushes that I use on a daily basis. I do have more makeup brushes in my collection, but they're the ones that I don't reach for as often. So hopefully if you guys are in the market to find makeup brushes or to start your collection and you don't know what kind of brushes to get and how much you need to spend, there are so many choices of different brands and different price range of brushes. So hopefully this video will help you guys to pick out a couple when you're out shopping for them. So the brushes that I have a wide range of price ranges as well. So what I'm trying to say is that when you do want to start your makeup brush collection, you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money to get good quality brushes. So let's get started with the brushes that I use. So the first brush I'm going to show you guys is brushes for my face. So this brush here is what I use to put on my Bare Essentials Mineral Foundation. I know that they, in the commercials or whatever, they do use the bigger kabuki brushes and, you know, tap and swirl this all over their face. But I don't like using mineral powder all over my face because I don't need that much coverage. Like especially over my face, I like to just cover wherever I need to, and this brush I find does a very good job of doing that. The only thing that I don't like about this brush is that, as you can see here, like the brush handle, the black paint has just been chipping off like crazy. I don't even know like how this started because this is like a matte kind of finish on it, and my other ones all don't have that problem. It's just this one here, and I use it as much as all my other brushes. Anyway, so the next brush that I use is this brush here. This is, I've mentioned this before, I got this at Forever 21 in a brush kit, and I use this brush for contouring. So I'll use my bronzers and just put it right here on my face for contouring. I really like this brush because this is supposed to be the blush brush of the collection, but I find it's not fluffy enough because it's quite narrow and not as dense, but this is the perfect size for getting into underneath your cheeks for contouring, so I really like that brush here. And it's quite soft for like a brush set that's $3.80. The next brush that I use is this kabuki here. This is also from Bare Essentials. I got this in the starters kit for the mineral powders, and this is the Flawless Face brush. This is not the full-size brush. There's another one in the kit that's bigger and a little bit more fuller. I use this to put translucent powder to set my foundation. I'll just tap and swirl this and put this all over my face. This is a very soft and full brush, and it's really, really dense. What I love about this is when you wash it, it actually dries really, really fast even though it's so dense, and it does not shed or doesn't lose its shape. I've had this brush for about 2 years, and it's still good as new. So the next brush I use is an E.L.F. brush here. So this is from eyeslipface.com, and this is the Complexion brush. A lot of people have raved about this brush, and it's just as good as they say it is. So you can use this for many, many different ways, to put on foundation, to put on powders, and use as wet or whatnot. But what I do with this is I actually use it for blush. I love how thin and tapered this is, because sometimes blush brushes are a little bit too full and you get blush like all over your face where you don't want it. I think if you want blush to be a little bit more precise, like just on the apples of your cheek or just above your contour, this brush is the perfect size for that, just because it's a bit smaller and it picks up a good amount of product. Now the only thing I don't like about this brush here is that when you wash it, it takes a long time for it to dry just because I guess it's so dense. You really have to wring out the water if you want to use this the next day. Otherwise, if you just like leave it there to dry, you won't be able to use this the next day. So sometimes I think it's good to order 2 of these if you do love this brush and you want to use it every day. And this brush here was in that $3 to $5 range on elf.com, so it's not really expensive, and it is a very, very good brush, so I highly recommend this. The next brush that I use is also an E.L.F. brush, and it's the E.L.F. fan brush. It's from the same professional line collection. This is also $3 to $5, and I use this for highlighting. So I'll use a highlighting powder, or sometimes I'll just even use like white eyeshadow, and I'll just highlight the top of my cheeks and the bridge of my nose and my cupid's bow with this, and I think this picks up the right amount of product, and it kind of helps spread it around just because it's a wide fan brush. So that's a really good brush for that. The next brush I have is my concealer brush. So this is the MAC 194 brush, and it's just this long thin concealer brush. So I use this to pick up concealer. I use like concealer in like a jar type. I use this to pick it up, and then I'll put it underneath my eyes or like on my blemishes. And what I do is, instead of using this brush to blend it out, or even use my fingers to blend it out, I will take the MAC 217 here, which is the wide blending brush. People use this for eyeshadow, like to blend out around their eyeshadows, but I find this brush is way too big for my eye. I have like Asian eyes, so I don't really have very much surface area to work with, and my eyes aren't deep set, so this I find really works well for concealer blending, just because it gives you that really nice airbrushed look, and I absolutely love using these two brushes together with concealer. Currently what I have on my face right now is like a more of a liquidy concealer, so I have been just using my fingers for that instead of using my two brushes. So what you see on here right now, because it's not cleaned, is actually bronzer. So what I've actually been doing with this brush is using bronzer to sculpt my nose. I think this just fits perfectly around the nose area, just because the other brush that I use is way too big for that, and I don't want bronzer like all over my nose, because that's not really going to contour it. I just found this is really perfect for that. The next two products are for my eyeshadow. So these brushes I absolutely love, and they are also from EyeSplitSafe.com, and they are $1. Like, you cannot go wrong with dollar brushes. I know a lot of times brushes are trial and error, because you don't know like how they're going to work until you try it, right? But when it's $1, it's just not really a risk to try these brushes. So this is the eyeshadow brush that I use, and it's a really nice fluffy brush, and it picks up the right amount of product, and it's the perfect size to get eyeshadow all over your eyes or in just specific areas, and it's great for blending. The next brush that I use is the blending brush. This brush, I wish the bristles were just a little bit longer so that it would be a little bit more fluffier to blend with, but I find this to be a better size than the 217, because you can see the 217 is really, really big, and this is really good for my eye size. And it blends really, really well, and it's also easy to clean. These brushes, being $1, I've had these for at least about 2 years, and they are just as new looking as when I first got them. So they do not shed, and they're easy to clean, and they dry really, really fast. This one here is the Defining Eye Brush. So I've heard a lot of like good and bad about this brush, but I've had this for a while and I didn't know what to do with it. But when I started playing with more eyeshadows, I found this to be really good for your outer V's. It's good for like setting the color on. This brush does not work to blend. If you want to blend, you will have to use the blending brush to blend out the color. But this is really good for just creating that outer V, because the angle of it is perfect for that. So I love these brushes all together. The next two brushes are ones that I use for my eyeliner, and this is the NYX brush here. This is the NYX eyeliner eyeliner brush, and this here, a friend of mine helped me pick this up at IMAX. I believe this was only $6. It was quite cheap. What I like about this versus the MAC 210, because that's what I always used to use for my gel liners, is that the MAC 210, the brush is half the size, and it's just so easy to wreck the brush when you clean it. You know, like over time, you'll notice that the brush starts spreading wider and wider, and it's really hard to get that precise line that you want to get when your brush is deteriorated. Because this is denser and it's a little bit more stiff, it performs perfectly. The only thing is that it will create a line that's a little bit more thicker, so if you're looking for a really thin line with your gel liner, this is not going to deliver that. But I love this brush because it just stands up so well. I've had this for a while as well. The next brush I have here is this angled brush like this, and I use this to put on powdered eyeliner. So what I mean by that is I will use like a dark black eyeshadow, so like MAC Carbon Black or Creep from the Naked palette, and I will dab this in and then put eyeliner on. That's what I have on today. I have Creep on my eyes as an eyeliner, and I use this brush here. So I really like this because it's the perfect angle, and it is nice and thin so that it gets the line nice and thin, and you can also add onto the line to make it thicker. This brush I actually picked up at Zellers. I don't know what brand this is because I've had this for a really long time. And I was looking for like a really inexpensive brush to use for like my my gel liner. I have used gel liner with this, and I don't really like using angled brushes for gel liners. I prefer using the little tiny brushes just because you have more control over the line and the shape of it, and also the thickness. So I rather prefer using shadow liners with this, just because shadow liners are a little bit more neutral. You can use them for more like an everyday look, but I hate like liner pencils because you have to sharpen them, and the tip's always like too rounded for like the perfect wing liner. So yeah, so if you guys do have a Zellers in your local area, definitely go check this brush out. It's a really good quality brush for something super cheap. And what I love about this is when you wash it, it does not lose its shape. As you can see, I've had this for like a couple years and it has not flared out or been wrapped. So that's absolutely perfect. The next brush I have is the MAC 219 brush. So I don't use this brush very often because it's a pencil brush that's supposed to help me pick up color for like my lower eyelash, my lower lash line, or like in the corner of my eye, just to define it a little bit, because I don't do that as often. I think it's more of a heavier look, but what I found with this brush recently that I really love doing is dabbing translucent powder in the brush and dabbing it right underneath my eye, just because I wear like a little bit more heavier concealer and it tends to like crease up, or like it doesn't hold as well, or sometimes like my mascara or eyeliner will like fall a little bit. But if you put the translucent powder right underneath your eye, it really helps to set that, and that you won't have that problem. And also, if you do still have it with the product that you're using, it's so easy just to wipe it away. So I find that useful with the 219. So this brush was quite expensive. I think it was in that $20 range. A little bit more pricey for like a tiny, tiny brush. The next two brushes I use is for my eyebrows. So this is an E.L.F. mascara wand brush that I use to comb out just my natural lashes, my natural brows when I don't have anything in it, just to give everything like a more groomed look. I have really sparse and thin eyebrows naturally, so I'd have to really fill in my eyebrows daily if I don't want to look like freak someone out or look like I have brows. So I use like a gel brow and then powder. So, and both that's from E.L.F. So if you guys are actually interested in any of the products that I use with my brushes, please leave a comment down below, and I will definitely be more than happy to do a video on the products that I use to complement my brushes. So to pick up my my brow powder, which is actually just an eyeshadow that I use this brush here. Whoops. And this is from Joe Fresh. This is the angled eyeliner brush. And this was $6, and this I find is a little bit too thick for eyeliner, just because as you can see it's quite thick, and because it's deteriorated over time. It actually didn't stick up as nice as the Zellers brush, so that was a little bit surprising. But again, not a very inexpensive brush, so it's easy to replace. But I find this width is perfect for like filling in the eyebrows, especially when it's on an angle. And then what I like to do is if my brows come out a little bit too dark, I'll use this brush here just to like comb out the color and lighten it a little bit. So I like my eyebrows to be like a dark brown kind of color, but like at least a couple tones lighter than my hair color, just because I find it with like heavy black hair and heavy black brows, it's just way too heavy, even for someone who has like a big face like mine. The last thing I want to talk about is this tool here. I know it looks absolutely crazy because it's like this bright orange, God knows what this is, but what this is a mascara protector. So what you do is you put this over your eye and then you put your mascara on. So I find this to be super useful because sometimes when you use like mascara that has fiber in it, you want to comb it over the ends of your lashes. Even when your lashes have stopped, you still want to comb them over, because the fibers stick to the ends of your lashes and elongate your lashes even more, because that's how you build length on them. And this product here really helps to comb that out, because sometimes if you do that freehand, the fibers don't stick as well, or you'll get them all over the lid, and if you have like eyeshadow on, you're kind of ruining your makeup. So this completely helps to protect that when you use it like this, and it helps to get the fibers on the end of your lashes. So I got this at Daiso, which is a $2 Japanese store. Really good price and a super good invention. So this is definitely something that I would invest in. Otherwise, I've seen people use like pieces of paper or business cards, but because it's a little plastic tool, it's just so much more easy to clean, and it's a little bit more permanent than just having a business card with mascara all over it. So I hope this video helps you guys pick up some brushes if you're in the market for it, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!